Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's been a while. I generally kid you not, it's been a while. Haven't been live or uploaded or done anything for 5 days straight. Have been quite a bit under the weather to say the least. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% still. But I think I'm good enough to try and stream and try to make videos. So we're back. We're genuinely back. And not gonna lie, Arsenal actually for a change did something. They actually won against Chelsea. That one of the worst games I've seen in the last few months. But hey, we got the job done. We got the 3 points. So I guess it is what it is. There's not too much to talk about in that regard. But obviously, since I've been gone for this time, I'm not gonna lie, Andrea Berta has taken the reins at Arsenal. We'll see how that goes. There have been quite a bit of transfer rumors, transfer reports. Saliba has been spoken in interviews. Miles Lewis Skelly has been called up to England national team. So there's quite a bit of stuff to talk about. We're obviously not gonna talk about everything, but we're gonna talk about some stuff here or there. So if you can do me a favor, smash the thumbs up, like the stream, share it around, subscribe if you're new around here, and of course leave your thoughts down in live chat below. Any kind of thoughts you want to discuss regarding Arsenal, we haven't talked about, maybe we have missed, maybe something in those terms and stuff like that. But yeah, obviously we're gonna kick things off with Arsenal versus Chelsea. There's nothing too much into that. Big up Nathan. Big up, big up, big up. Thank you. I'm feeling better. I'm not ideal, but I'm feeling better. So as you can see, my voice is still not there. I have a cough. Quite annoying cough. Let's just put it that way. I cannot actually talk for extended periods of time. I get like episodes of coughing. Like it feels like it's not going to be endless and my head's going to explode. But hey, I'm going to try my best not to cough today. But yeah, big up Nathan. Big up coach. Big up. And yeah. Andrea Berta is official. And there were talks that he's gonna start this last week or this early week, and he has started apparently. He is there, he obviously is not in the limelight, he's not doing too much at the moment. I would assume the main thing is gonna start starting tomorrow because it's Monday. But pretty much it was confirmed that he's gonna start this week. Well, this is still Sunday, so this week, technically late this week and early next week. So pretty much it's official, he's here by the looks of things. And he's slowly but steadily taking the reins at the wheel. There's some hope, there's some expectations. Obviously, time only will tell. But as much as it's weird to say about Arsenal, it's a step in the right direction. So let's see how that pans out with Andrea Berta. Because definitely the players we're going to get linked with will be ones we haven't linked before. There will be definitely players like that. Definitely there will be some butting heads. There will be disagreements in the hierarchy between Arteta and him 100% in terms of players he wants and they want. So that will be very interesting to see how at the end of the day it pans out, because we all know that Mikel Arteta signed Raheem Sterling. It was his signing. Merino goes the same way and stuff like that. I wonder what will when Andrea Berta we're going to try and push his ideas. What's going to happen then? Obviously, time will tell. But definitely, I also believe that Mikel Arteta is in a bit of a hot seat in that regard, because I'm not too sure Arteta is going to be given that much of a time as people expect anymore. I know as much as I understand and I believe Arteta is not going to get sacked this summer, I think with Andrea Berta coming in, I think Arsenal with Kroenkes, with Garlic, Tim Lewis even, I think they are already planning for the future in terms of what if Arteta doesn't do anything? Again, he falls short. I'm not talking about this season specifically, I'm more talking about next season predominantly. What if he falls short already? Then I think they're planning already after Mikel Arteta's reign at Arsenal. It looks that way at least, because there's no chance in hell in a way that such a high-profile director of football as Andrea Berta would come to Arsenal if there were not certain guarantees into his contract and some certain promises that he will get some guarantees in terms of the future. If Arteta is here, because we all know that Arteta has so much power, so obviously time will tell only regarding that, but definitely there will be stuff like that going on. Bruno Guimaraes, Nico Williams, Semenyo plus Gyökeres, Kerkez in the release for Tommy, etc. Tomiyasu is not gonna leave. Who's gonna buy him? Tomiyasu is not gonna play till end of this year, December 2025, end of this year, so there's no chance in hell we're gonna sell him. Nobody's gonna want him. Kerkez is going to Liverpool from what I understand, so time will tell. Guimaraes is a question mark because they just won a trophy today. They beat Liverpool 2-1. So that is on top of that, especially if they get Champions League at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to lose him because I think it's a very similar position as with Andrea Isak. I think in that regard. Alexander Isak, in terms of Isak has gentleman's agreement or something like that with Newcastle that if they don't get Champions League, they can let him go if the proper bid comes in. So I think if they, as long as they get Champions League, I think they're gonna keep the core of the players because they were there last year and they looked very, very in the place. So definitely, given that they already won a trophy, if they qualify for Champions League this year, it will be very tough to get any of their best players out. And I would think that some of those players wouldn't even want to move because they would see that the team is in a very good spot. They're winning trophies as well. I'm worried about Zubimendi and Bruno Guimaraes signing. The thing is, I don't know. I know we're not gonna get both. Because as much as I put trust in Andrea Berta to get proper signings, I kinda don't think Arsenal will get both. Because to get both, Arsenal will have to spend about what, 150, about 150 to 170. And I don't think Arsenal will do that. As much as it's weird and it pains me to say this, especially the new sporting director, I don't think we're going to spend 170 on two players, especially given the fact that we need about 5-6 signings alone. Obviously, if I have to choose between Zubimendi and Bruno Guimaraes, hands down I'm picking Bruno Guimaraes, I'm not going to lie. The question about this is, though, he already snubbed Arsenal once. And knowing how egocentrical and narcissistic and stubborn Mikel Arteta can be, would he be open to going after him once again? Because we have been linked with Vlahovic as well, nothing has materialized, so Vlahovic snubbed Arsenal as well, and we haven't gone back like properly with a bid ever after him since. So that for me is a big question. Would Arteta will be willing to change his ways? Because one thing I'm very strong believer is that if once Andrea Berta comes in, I think Arteta will have to change his ways in certain aspects of the management, of the signings, of the discussions and everything. And if he cannot adapt, if we'll come to Kroenkes to either fire Berta or Arteta, I think Arteta will be it. Especially after 5 years winning nothing and 800 million spent. Yeah, we must act like a big club, get Wirtz or Musiala. I would 100% agree with that. The thing is, didn't Musiala just sign a new deal with Bayern Munich? And Wirtz apparently either is gonna go Real Madrid or maybe Manchester City, one of the two. So I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. As much as I would love for Arsenal to put their 5 cents into the mix and try and get them, I kind of don't see it happening as bad as it sounds. That's how little belief I have in Arsenal, I kind of. Nico Williams or Semenyo? Personally, neither. I'm not gonna lie, neither. If I was forced, gun to my head, choose between one of those, I'm picking Semenyo. I'm not one of those who have pants down for Nico Williams, because I don't rate him as highly as much as I watch La Liga, as much as I watch Athletic Bilbao and everything. I'm not the biggest fan of him. Not the biggest fan of him. Oh, but he had good Euros and everything. The thing is, one thing I exclusively don't do is judge players by their international performances, because it's complete different thing, complete different systems, managements on players, complete different scenarios, and people can have the best World Cup, best Euros in the world, and in the club they're nobody pretty much, and that for me is a big worry. For example, if you ask me if I should take Iñaki Williams, I would take actually Iñaki Williams over Nico Williams. Release Tommy. We are not going to do that as well. I don't believe we're going to release him as well. I think he's going to stay here until basically push comes to shove. I think I think how Arsenal will treat Tomiyasu, it will be very similar how we treated Jesus. We're going to give him his time to recover, like we did with Partey as well. Give him time his recovery. Give him time, give him patience and everything, and see what follows after that. Maybe in summer afterwards in 2026, maybe in January 2026, we might let him go, sell him. By that, but who knows? Yeah, definitely. Instead of Mendy, get Ederson or Watson. Ederson would be interesting, but I think Atalanta won about 70 million for Ederson. That seems very, very expensive. Very expensive. I want Musiala and we're gonna get Naipan. And to be honest, even Naipan is not in the books 100% guaranteed, especially given the fact that he rejected us once, and who knows what's gonna happen afterwards, because one of the biggest things with Naipan is he's still young and he needs game time. Sorry. And Arsenal cannot guarantee him that. Obviously, we know that Manchester City are interested in him. And one thing we know that Man City has the City Group, and one of the biggest teams under City Group is Girona. And if he goes to Girona to play in La Liga, he will 100% get guaranteed more or less game time. Because they have let some of their best players go, like Alex Garcia, obviously Jan Kuzo, Savio, and Dove, big players like that. And they haven't replaced them properly still. And Naipan getting signed, loaned out to Girona, actually would be quite fantastic for him, for his future's sake. That would be the smart move, in my opinion. And there's 100% guarantee that even if he balls out at Girona, and he can't get even into City's team, obviously, because it's gonna be very tough, they will still sell him for triple, quadruple the profit. There's no matter what. Zubimendi is decent, can play together with Rice, and has chemistry with Merino. Yeah, that is the only thing that Top Gunners want to push on us. That is one of the biggest reasons why I don't want. Because he will look decent with Declan Rice. But for me, if I look at things, having Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard midfield doesn't seem Premier League winning midfield. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, Zubimendi is also that one of those players who doesn't excel specifically at a certain thing, if that makes sense. Because there are players who excel at some things. Partey excels at disrupting the play. When he's 10 out of 10, disrupting the play and unleashing the ball. And connecting midfield to attack, defense to attack, basically. Declan Rice is a disruptor. He's not an 8. For me, he's a 6, and he's more of a disruptor. And again, long diagonals, disrupting the play and playing long ball. Zubimendi more strikes me as a ball-playing midfielder. And for me, that doesn't sit well anywhere on the pitch. Yes, I understand the narrative of having, for example, Declan Rice as a 6, who is a disruptor, and ball-playing number 6 as Zubimendi, who can do that to a certain extent. That I totally get. But to have a midfield of Declan Rice and Zubimendi as the two number 6 and 8, it doesn't excite me. I'm not gonna lie. It's arguably worse midfield than Partey and Rice to some extent. To some extent, it's even worse for me. At least personally, that's the way I see it. I'm not gonna lie. Instead of 150 for Isak, bring me Rodrigo. Could be the case, but I don't think he's gonna leave Real Madrid. That is also the case because he's guaranteed pretty much starting time at Real Madrid. That is for me the case, and we're gonna play against Real Madrid. Time will tell how's that gonna look. Isak also was poor in La Liga, but now scoring. True, but at the same time, Zubimendi is not being brought here to score. That for me is the thing. For me, Zubimendi is a much bigger gamble than Isak, personally. Did you see Ekitike links? Yeah, we are linked with Ekitike as well. One of those strikers, ex-PSG and everything. But for me, the biggest issue with that is Eintracht Frankfurt. Because over the years, they have made strikers look like they're world class, pretty much. Think about it. Aller, Andres Silva, Jovic, obviously Colomwani for 90 million went to PSG. Now Ekitike and players like that, they leave their specific clubs and they're pretty much instantly flop at the club they go to. More often than not. Marmoush could be the only exception at City, let's be real. But overall, Andres Silva, he's nowhere. We don't hear about him that often. Colomwani at PSG, just less than certain than Barry, especially given the price tag. Andres Silva I talked about. Jovic went to Real Madrid, generally did nothing, then went to AC Milan, he went to Fiorentina if I'm not mistaken, also did nothing. That is also a very big myth. Aller as well, was not good anywhere pretty much when he left Eintracht Frankfurt. I think Omar Marmoush could be the only exception. But they're very good at farming money in that regard, I'm not gonna lie. Are we gonna buy Omar El Hilali right back at that? Could work. I think Mingueza as well is pretty decent from Celta Vigo. Gutierrez, the left back from Girona, is very good. Wouldn't mind signing one of those. Obviously, let's not forget Espanyol. Juan Garcia most likely is going to join Arsenal, which means Karl Hein most likely is going to get sold once he comes back from loan as well. So there's lots of things to take into consideration as well. Osimhen, big up TK. He's a Galatasaray fan and everything, so take that. He wants Osimhen at Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie. I want Osimhen as well. I kid you not. The links with Gyökeres, the links with Osimhen, the links with Sesko and everything. I want Osimhen. I'm not gonna lie. Osimhen or Gyökeres, one of the two. Isak, if it's like 200 million, as much I would like to have him. Isak, for 200 million, especially when you can sign, for example, for that money, you can sign 3-4 high-end players. Would make more sense signing them, wouldn't it? Let's be real. Because 63 million release clauses for Victor Osimhen seems hella cheap to some extent. He's a top goal scorer in the Turkish league. He now scored a hat-trick in the last game. He's setting world on fire, so why not? Why genuinely not? United are in Juventus as well. 3 teams. If we look at the team of potential in terms of where he could go and where he would work most, I think it's Arsenal. Because Arsenal are in one of those teams that desperately need a striker. And obviously with Saka, once he's back fully fit, if we sign a proper left winger, if we sign even proper number 10 to some extent as well, he will have the service and he will score goals. I think Osimhen makes the most sense. Because, yeah, see, TKA wants bring me Isak, break the bank, 300 million, 1 mil a week. You know, that's the biggest issue for me. To see 300 million. I was watching the game against Liverpool. They won the cup. Obviously, Newcastle today, the Carabao Cup. Fantastic for them. If they get Champions League, it will be tough to move him. But 300 million, 1 million a week, let's be real. For that money, we can sign 3 players for 100 million. And let's be, for 100 million, if you sign the proper players, you actually get proper talent and proper output instantly. Midfield, attack, wherever you look at it. 100 million would make a lot of sense. Arsenal be linked with Camavinga. I don't believe Camavinga, for example, is gonna leave Real Madrid whatsoever, because that is just dumb and stupid to the maximum extent, right? At the same time, 100 million for Camavinga, drop it on the table, give me Camavinga. I would be 100% open to that. 1 billion%. I'm not gonna lie. I was in group chats, we were talking about this. Grimaldo for the left back spot, left wing back, also fantastic. Good work as well. Especially if we stop the inverted crap and we overlap and do everything. Grimaldo would be phenomenal. I think one of the biggest things that are, as much as Arteta wants to do it, one of the biggest downfalls of Mikel Arteta is inverting. Because the biggest way, in my opinion, the best way is to beat the low mid blocks is to stretch the play. Overlapping fullbacks. And then running behinds. And everything. And we just don't do that, do we? And that for me is the big thing. Joe Linton will smoke that, yeah. In the midfield, that's one of the biggest things. With Rice and Partey in the midfield, we have strength. We have some sort of strength and physicality. And how many times we are watching Premier League games and we get overrun in the midfield due to the fact that we don't have legs in the midfield and we are weak in the midfield. Many times. Remember when Lavia was at Lavia? Onana. Lavia Onana. I get them mixed up. It really pisses me off. The Everton one. I think it was Onana. Andrea Onana. Not Andrea Onana. Onana, I think it was at Everton, right? He single-handedly was running all crossover midfield. One man band it was at the time when we both lost and draw against Everton. He was single-handedly doing us over. When we play Newcastle, Joelinton with Bruno Guimaraes, those 2 Brazilians genuinely destroy our midfield instantly. And that is a big worry. That's why I wish we got Caicedo, for example. As much as people want to slay the signing, that he went to Chelsea and everything, we should have signed Caicedo, let's be real. Instead of we signed Jorginho, that has gone well, hasn't it? Zubimendi is just a young Jorginho. To some extent, yeah. To some extent. Let's be real. When we have midfield of Jorginho and Merino, for example, it's like watching a YouTube video at 0.5 speed. It's like going backwards only. Guendouzi and Song were supposed to be it, dude. Guendouzi, I think, would have been to some level it if Mikel Arteta could handle some characters in that dressing room. And obviously, he was still young at the time, inexperienced, and he wanted his way or the highway. He has stuck to it ever since. And I think if he got proper coaching, obviously we all know how that has gone under Arteta, but proper coaching, proper management, I genuinely believe that Guendouzi could have been quite fantastic at Arsenal. It's just a shame that he never got the proper chance. We'd much rather sign players like Lokonga and players like that. Berta wants Lautaro Martinez. Yeah, I heard that. I'm not gonna lie, personally, I don't want Lautaro Martinez. As it may be as controversial as people say, I don't want Lautaro Martinez. That guy, as much as he's scoring, despite that, in front of the goal can be Kai Havertz pretty much. I have seen him miss from 2 feet out. Genuinely, 2 feet empty net, he misses the ball, he misses the net. He single-handedly nearly cost Argentina the World Cup and everything. Like, it also is not a great thing. If it's something similar like when we talk about Havertz, when he plays up top. If he could finish at least half of the chances he misses, we would have won the title. He would be not on 19 goals right now. He would be on about 29, 28 goals. That is a very bad thing. Otherwise, Lautaro Martinez is very decent, but the issue for me with him is that the fact that he misses quite a bit of chances, quite a wasteful. That Issa close scoring comment was more for Williams not having high numbers in La Liga. Yeah, I get that, but that's the biggest issue here. Williams is not gonna get the same things he gets in La Liga. In La Liga, they don't play low blocks. They are a bit less physical and everything. In Premier League, let's be real, he comes up against someone like Dan Burn and he just gonna genuinely dink him with a finger in his shoulder and he's gonna fly 600 yards outside the stadium. I don't think as well that Nico Williams, especially output and everything, that not as much, but still, he's something like, he's an improvement on Martinelli to some extent. At the same time, he's same thing as Martinelli. He tends to just take the ball, run down the side and run it out of play, which is very frustrating to watch many times. And as I said, if I have to sign a Williams from Athletic Bilbao, I'm signing Iñaki Williams. For me, he's much better player than Nico. Timber and White is sufficient. We need money invested up front. Dude, we've been saying this for the last 3 years. Like, all of the money of the 800 million nearly have, from the nearly like 750 million, about 600 million, like something like that, has gone solely on midfield defense and goalkeepers. Rest of them has been on the 150 in the attack, and that has got us what? Genuinely, what has it gotten us? Marquinhos? Trossard? Havertz? Jesus? That's about it. So basically nothing. Yeah, for me as well, Osimhen over Isak. Yes, I'm gonna agree with that. Barcola is an iffy one. But as much as PSG is fantastic to watch, especially under Luis Enrique, how he has built a team, not having actually insane stars, but actually having a squad, the biggest downfall for PSG is the fact that they cannot finish their dinner. And as much as Barcola has his moments of brilliance, at the same time, in front of a net, oh bloody hell. Against Liverpool as well, he was one-on-one and he shot it straight at Alisson. Didn't chip, didn't do anything. He is very inconsistent in front of a net. And given how we are playing right now and how many chances we miss because of that, due to our inconsistencies, it's gonna be even more frustrating than ever, especially if we pay, let's just say, 70-80 million for him. It's gonna be something like Pepe, and to be honest, I would love to have Pepe at the moment at Arsenal. Skelly in midfield, Kerkez as left back. Could work, but Kerkez is not gonna come to Arsenal. It looks like he's pretty much locked on Liverpool. I was joking. Yeah, I get that. But I've seen people say this with uttermost seriousness. Spend 200, 250 on Isak. I don't care and give him that. I've seen people say that. And as much as signing Isak would be big, at the same time, money could be spent much more smart. There's a big difference on where you spend and how you spend the money. It's big difference on how and on who. Osimhen and Baena. Osimhen striker, but that's the thing. Baena for me is more of a number 10 than a left mid, left wing. Yes, he plays left mid for Villarreal, right? Because Villarreal play 4-4-2 and stuff like that. So in the midfield with Parejo and someone like that, there is no other room for Baena than to play out wide. But Baena is more of a 10. He's like Santi Cazorla type of level of player. And Santi Cazorla never played left wing, left mid. So it just depends how you look at it. That Martinelli shot, dude, don't even. Like, pillow foot, aka Odegaard, shooting just pathetic. Martinelli just kills grandmas in the stands and everything. Or shoots at the pigeons, flying them above them, right? It's just nuts. Saka, Nico Williams on the wings. Martinelli's backup will be proper. Depends, but I'm gonna say this now. I'm not the biggest fan of Nico Williams. Barcola is decent, but in front of the net, he leaves much to be desired. Let's just put it that way. For me, at least. Mitoma, none of these hipster signings like Šeško and Mitoma. I don't want any of those. For me, Rodrigo is my #1 choice for left wing, but Barcola is a mess. Yeah, Barcola is an improvement, but in front of the net, that is the massive worry. Rodrigo would be quite fantastic. He would be a guaranteed star at Arsenal, game in, game out, 100%. Let's be real. But the question is, would Arsenal pull the trigger? That is the biggest thing, because that would be 100 to 130 million signing. We have room to maneuver, we can sell and rebuild the team, but yeah, that's the biggest thing. We have room, we can move players, we have someone to sell, if we can sell them given the wages and everything, but I trust Andrea Berta to do it, let's be real. He actually is a guy I would put my trust into actually selling certain players. I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to, is seeing us selling players for proper money and not letting them go on free like we have done previously. That for me is a big thing. For Mikel, I strongly believe for Mikel, he's not gonna get sacked at the end of the season. At least I don't believe so, as much as I want him gone. But I think if the season next year starts on a shaky ground, his job could be on the line already mid-season, early season. I can see that happening 100%. Saying it like that. Other thing is as well that even if we look at the start of the last season and start of this season specifically, we basically shithoused our way through few games and we got very lucky not to lose them or draw them. So if at some point next season we started like that, where instead of winning we actually lose or draw games and we instantly fall behind, I think his job will be on the line sooner than most people would expect. I think it that way because we are how many? We are 12 points, I think, behind Liverpool, right? It's a 5-game swing. No, five game swing, and it's exactly 5-game swing from the last year at this stage to this stage, and that is not a good look. How in span of 1 year we have dropped so off? It's actually quite embarrassing. Who's Bayena's football manager? I don't know. I actually don't know who is Bayena's manager. Wait, let's check this. Aleix Baena. Let's see. He's a left footer, so that would be actually quite fantastic since he's left footed. Who is his? Would be nice if it loaded, by the way. Here we go. He is signed to CAA Stellar. No idea who that is. Let's see some of the clients. Let's just put it that way. Let's see some of the clients to CAA Stella. Because that, I think, would show, is there any chance on hope for Arsenal to get him? Oh, bloody hell. There's Kamavinga, there's Marmoush, there's Kobe Mainoo, Ibrahima Konate, quite big players. Pablo Barrios, future midfielder potentially, Jack Grealish, Gibbs White, Ezri Konsa, Skamaka, Jeremy Pino, Ivan Toney, Vissa, Unai Simon, Pierre Kalulu, Jensen, Elanga, Oscar Bob. No Arsenal players, interestingly enough. But quite big names, I'm not gonna lie. Fermin Lopez as well. Quite big names are signed on this. Buonanotte, he's big. Jordan Pickford, Loftus-Cheek, Calvin Phillips, Robert Sanchez. Anyone else big? Nathan Talia, Sasha Bowie, lol. James Trafford, Wilfried Gnonto from Leeds, that's an interesting one. James Ward-Prowse. No Arsenal players, interestingly enough. That is kind of nuts if you ask me, I'm not gonna lie. Would have expected at least one Arsenal player to be there. But we comparing these new guys to our legends like Henry Drogba, Torres. We should do that. I realize that football has evolved. It's not the same, but let's be real. We last time won the league 21 years ago. Those guys did it. Henry, Pires, Lumbag, Vieira, Campbell, Lauren, Torre, Lehmann, players like that. That is the standard we are striving to be. We need to get back to those standards. Because at those times, when we didn't win the game, it was pain. It was actual tears, let's be real. And it was actual disappointment. Now when we don't win a game, it's, oh well, on to the next one, let's do this, let's do that. Hee hee, haha, new match, woo, and everything. Show me a picture of Win the Dog and Donkey and everything. It's complete ass backwards these days. Rodrigo is worth 175 million. Yeah, that would be a very expensive signing. Let's just say the least. But for a player like Tomiyasu, we're paying him for nothing. Never. That's the biggest thing. That for me is the biggest question. What will Arsenal do with Tomiyasu? Because he's out till end of this year, pretty much, right? And for me, I'm in this mindset that they might actually give him time, like they did to Jesus and Partey. When they got these long-term injuries, surgeries, and everything, they will give them time to recover. Then they're gonna try them out. If they get injured again, then they're gonna bin him. It looks that way. Tierney, Trossard, Kivior, Jesus, get rid. We need 8 players. Yeah, you can add Zinchenko to the mix. There is Nelson. Let's be real. Lokonga potentially if Sevilla decide not to sign him. We have quite a few. Karl Hein even. We have quite a few of those. Coach is saying when is a video game he'll stop playing. No chance. No chance. He is not. It's only to people who don't watch La Liga. But well, now we want this. Dude, to be honest, Balotelli was better than anything we have up front right now. Yeah, back then there was talent. And to be honest, these days there is proper talent as well. The issue is just the football these days has been systemized in such a way that it gets coached out of the players. Like, if you watch at pure talent, in terms of on the pitch and everything, Lamine Yamal, Savio, Rafinha, ironically, most of them are Brazilian players or are from La Masia, ironically enough. Because they allow their players to be themselves and express themselves. But as soon as they go to, let's just say, Premier League, especially under managers like Pep, like Mikel Arteta, the ability gets coached out of them. The uniqueness, that's what makes them unique, basically. Because to some extent, same thing has happened to Bukayo Saka. He doesn't do the same things he did 4 years ago, for example, at right wing. He doesn't do slalom dribbles. He doesn't take on 3-4 players. Now it's just pass, move, pass backwards. Maybe you can get past one. Maybe drop a step over and everything. Again, pass backwards, pass and move. It's all systemized. It's very robotic and it's very repetitive to look at. And that's why, especially in the last year and a half, 2 years, watching Arsenal is genuinely I'm falling asleep. Today's game was prime example to that. 1-0 is just pathetic. Chelsea never came to Arsenal to win the game. They didn't do anything pretty much. Let's be real, they didn't set up to attack whatsoever. Right? And we still only did 1-0. We could have scored more, but we didn't. Okay, but still we didn't just do it like a proper way. We just got the goal and then sat back and just see the game out. That's all it was. Big up Kwame, big up. Well, I just hope we get Osimhen and proper left wing and Bruno. Osimhen 63, Bruno 120. Let's just say that's 180. Left wing, that's about 60. More or less, that's 240. If we manage to sell properly, we can recoup about 120 to 150. That's only 90 million net spend. That would be a fantastic window in a way. But you have to add the fact that we need more than 3 signings. We need a goalkeeper. We need a left back. We arguably need a center back backup for Saliba still. And we need more. If you can let go of ESR, Auba, you can get a 3. Exactly. If you just bin Aubameyang like that, you can definitely get rid of some of them. Yeah, 1-0 against Chelsea is just pathetic. What? Oh, dude. To be honest, watching, let's just say for Barcelona, let's just say Yamal and Ranieri was there, that actually would be kind of insane to see. Robbo, you know I've been saying Osimhen for the longest. Yeah. You've been 100%. Yeah, we just general football. We just earned 100 million from UCL. Exactly, we just earned 100 million from Champions League. We're gonna earn more whether we go through or not to the quarterfinals. Let's be real. The question is what we're gonna do with that money, where it's gonna go, how it's gonna get spent, and even if we're gonna get see some of it or any of it. Who do you think Berta will get? Dude, I have no idea. Not gonna lie, no idea. At this stage, I genuinely have no idea. But yeah, it's a bit of a coin toss to see what's gonna happen. But I think it will be very different transfer window, per se, in terms of Arsenal. I kind of get it that we're gonna get linked to players we haven't been linked with for. I think we will get more links of players leaving and negotiations of players leaving. Just a matter of is where, for how much, and what's gonna happen with that. Well, United are 2-0 up. Interesting. Garnacho scored, frickin' hell. Garnacho, PSG 2-0 up against Marseille. A small step back, I just want to see the results. Mendes and Dembele scored. Atalanta, Inter 0-0. Juve got destroyed by Fiorentina. Stuttgart lost to Leverkusen. They were 2-0 up when I went live. Granit Xhaka even scored an own goal. Then Frimpong, Hincapi, and Schick scored the dagger in 90 plus 4 minutes. Interesting. And at the moment, of course, Real Madrid versus Barcelona is happening. So that will be very interesting to see what's going to happen there. This is the story of the day, isn't it? This is the story of the day. Bruno G and Musiala G midfield. Could be the case. Bruno, someone, and Musiala could work. But we are not signing Musiala. That for me is the biggest issue. Conte, Italian link up at the carpet with Berta. Could be. Inzaghi, Conte. Conte is not leaving. He just signed with Napoli. That for me is the biggest thing. I can see Inter maybe. Especially if they don't win Serie A this season. I can see Inzaghi. Maybe Allegri. Especially since he's out of job if I'm not mistaken. Who else is there? Would he actually lure Simeone away? I kind of don't believe that. Sane links, yeah, like a few years too late. Yeah, could be. Maybe he lures him away. Who knows? But this is the big thing. One of the stories of today, before the game even came out, despite the red flags that come with Chelsea's willingness to loan Raheem Sterling to London rival, Mikel Arteta still personally pushed for the signing in the final days of the summer window. Isn't that telling you everything you need to know about the ambition of the club? About the ambition, about everything, how they moved in the transfer window. Even Chelsea didn't want to let him go to Arsenal, yet Mikel Arteta went on his knees and pleaded to Chelsea, to Bowley, to let him go. Make it make sense. And what has he even done at Arsenal? Like, seriously, make it make sense. Eddie Howe is younger than Arteta, and you'll see what he's done for this team. Yeah, let's be real, yeah. He has done quite fantastic job as well. Yes, he has money, but he has done quite decent job, I'm not gonna lie. What else was there where I was away? Martin Zubimendi to Arsenal apparently is very advanced stage, and the feeling inside the club is that he will join this summer. Well, time will tell, not too much. We have to speak about this dumbass. Because today, if there was any game, today convinced me that he needs to learn Arabic and piss off to Saudi. Trossard is not it. Basically, looking at Trossard's face and the bags under his eyes, it's pretty much point per point reflection of how Arsenal are playing football. Dumb, boring, and basically tranquilized, and as if they haven't slept for about 55 years. Arsenal want to resume contract negotiations apparently with Leandro Trossard in the coming weeks. That picture, by the way, is disgusting. After being unable to reach an agreement in recent months, however, it figures from Saudi Arabia in mind, an extension does not seem easy. Let him go. Sell him. Sell him, fund next left winger signing, and be on the way. That's what I would do. Genuinely, just sell him. We had a chance to sell him. It was September. We couldn't replace him. We didn't. In summer, they signed Galeno instead. Now just sell him next summer. Just sell him. Just bin him off and sign a proper winger. Yeah, and that is also a thing. Give the kids a chance. Sterling official Champions League team of the week. Yeah, genuinely, I'm not gonna lie. He actually had two assists against PSV, and he actually had a somewhat decent game, ironically enough. If he could actually improve on that and do it against Real Madrid, could be a completely different story. Because it's very easy when you don't have pressure, it's 7-1 on aggregate at first place, and you can make mistakes and you can play freely, or when you have one chance, it's against Frank Garcia and Rudiger covering his ass or someone else, and you're one-on-one. Basically, you are attacking against Real Madrid at Bernabeu. Completely different story. Nope, I haven't seen anything much. Since last time I streamed, obviously, we talked about the interest from Barcelona, 35 million, disgrace, let's be real. Otherwise, haven't seen much, I'm not gonna lie. No wonder Edu left. Mikel signed Sterling so he could save Kroenke some money. They rewarded him. Yeah, pretty much all the money that should have gone for us to signing a proper left winger. Or right winger, depends how you look at it. Went to Arteta's new contract, basically. That's how it looks like. And then we signed Sterling on loan. That's how it feels like. And to be honest, props to Edu. He left, he's signing with Nottingham Forest, with Marianakis, and he's gonna be overseeing 3 clubs at the moment. Maybe 4 if he buys Vasco da Gama. But he's gonna oversee Olympiacos, Nottingham Forest, and someone else. Well, someone in Portuguese league, forgot. But to be honest, not bad teams to oversee. Best team in Greece, one of the best teams in Premier League this season. Plus, Edu is advising for Nottingham Forest to sign Salam Khan from Arsenal's academy to Nottingham Forest, and to be honest, who can play him because actually he actually is very good. So let's see how that goes. And Edu gets the triple the wages, overseeing 3 clubs. Let's see. Nathan Adjo isn't anything to be happy about, especially at home. Yeah, true. That is the biggest thing. But for a change, at least small victories. Sterling had a decent game. Trossard turned 30 and lost all his ability. That's how it looks like. He has about 4 goals, 5 goals this season for Arsenal. I think he hasn't done much. He hasn't done much this season for Arsenal. I think he has about 4 goals in Premier League, and they have been spread out quite nicely as well over the season. Every 2 months he scores or something weird like that. Where is he? Where is Leandro Trossard? Come to me, boy. Pause. Would be nice if it loaded in. Sorry. Well, as it's loading, probably gonna wait. Trossard must improve next season or he'll be shown the door. I think we should just show him the door. I don't think we should stay with him. I think we should send him to Gulag and everything. Yeah, see, Premier League, 29 games, 4 goals, 5 assists, and he has started 72% of the games this season in Premier League. Isn't that telling you something? Isn't that telling you something? Let's see. 4 goals, 5 assists in Premier League. Premier League, 29 games. When was the goal? When is he scoring and assisting? Because that is a big thing in this regard. Okay, he scored against Villa. Then few games missed. Scored against Leicester. Again, let's just say few games in between. Scored and assisted against West Ham. Few games against Ipswich. Then against Spurs. One of the goals. Then next game 2 against Villa in 2-2 draw, and then 1 assist against Leicester. Okay, Villa, Leicester, West Ham, Ipswich, Spurs, Villa, Leicester. So he doesn't even turn up in the big games as well. He doesn't turn up even in the big games. He scores against the mediocre oppositions. So I think the time for him is also done. So because when we signed him in January in the 22-23 season, he was fantastic. It's just a shame he didn't kick on since then, and I think also Mikel Arteta partially is at fault because he destroyed his confidence because he got man of player of the month as I think as well in March I think for Arsenal, and he didn't play in April almost whatsoever that season. Plus Arteta changed the system as you have probably noticed on that left side. Martinelli was firing 22-23 season. Trossard was firing 22-23 season. We were playing attacking, free-flowing football. Mikel Arteta changed the system for last season and this season, and both of them have fallen off the face of the earth. Yes, there are some injuries involved, but overall, I think the system also has been now catered in a way that it has ruined our left side completely. It has also never recovered since we sold Granit Xhaka, sadly enough. And we have signed Merino, Rice, Havertz. So that's what, 165, 170, 200 million spent on that left 8 role, and it still hasn't been fixed. That's how wild it is. Yes, I think as well, big up Natalie as well, by the way. She's a Trossard, one of the Trossard's biggest fans, and she even wants Trossard out. Trossard should play Odegaard role, not on the wing. Could be secondary striker as well, maybe it could work. Let's just say 4-4-1-1, 4-4-2, 3-5-2, double striker, and he is the support. Could he actually work as well? Drops maybe deeper to distribute the ball. Maybe, but not as much anymore. Not as much anymore. He has the quality, but he is underperforming, and that's the biggest issue with the Arteta's change of systems and tactics in the last 2 seasons. It has completely destroyed the left side. Merino, more goals than Trossard. Yeah, that is also the case. Mikel Merino. Big up, Liam. Big up, nice to see you here. Merino has more goals than Trossard, isn't it? Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino. Let's see what Merino has done. Let's see. So, I understand. Hope you're all well. I generally hope you're all well. I haven't streamed for 6 days straight. I've been quite ill, and I'm still not fully recovered. I'm just coming live here now just because I miss this. I kind of can, and I actually cannot at the same time. But hey, just big up, glad to hear it as well. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything gets resolved as quickly as possible, and you're gonna be fine. Big up. So was Merino a decent signing? No, he wasn't. 21 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. Dude, more goals than 1 goal assist in Champions League. It's kind of nuts, innit? Kind of nuts. 32 million euros, 30 million pounds, 6 goals, 2 assists. The biggest thing is, we signed him to be an 8, and we play him as a striker. Same thing we did with Kai Havertz. And we say, was he a decent signing? We obviously say Kai Havertz hasn't been a decent signing because he's a striker predominantly, and he cannot score to save his life. Couldn't score in a brothel, can't hit the barn door, and all that stuff, right? Mikel Merino is playing as a number 9, basically, again, while being a 6. It makes no sense. It's a phase 5, phase 6 type of situation, and we are playing midfielders at striker. Where does that make any sense to you? Like, for me personally, as you're asking, was he a decent signing? For me, he wasn't. Because even at Real Sociedad, he's the 3rd best midfielder behind Zubimendi and Brais Mendes. Personally, for me, right? He's the 3rd best signing. At the same time, when we were linked with Merino, we were linked with Fabian Ruiz. And I wanted Fabian Ruiz 10 times more than I wanted Mikel Merino, because I think he, as left day, he would be much better, much more useful, and much more fitting to the team, because he actually can create from the midfield, from the deep end. And that is something that Arsenal, in my opinion, midfield-wise, are missing desperately. Creative spark, assists, and passes from the deep midfield, from that number 8 spot when we are in our own end, number 6, and we are missing that desperately. And That's why I thought Fabian Ruiz would be much better fit than Mikel Merino. Yeah, that obviously that's not Merino's fault. At the same, but hey, overall, when he has been in the midfield, it's been shocking. Let's not think about that. Let's not even gloss over that. Yeah, that's our top class striker. 70 million, I would sell him to Real Madrid. He is phenomenal. He can score against Leicester City, won us the game today. He's fantastic in the air. He can model the new merchandise like no one else in the team. Well, maybe Calafiori, because Calafiori has the hair and the jawline. Mikel Merino has the eyebrows and everything. Maybe that, but yeah, it works. No wonder it took 4 weeks to get him. Yeah, exactly. World class level signing. I always have rated him, by the way. He's the best striker we know. Why is he being played in the midfield? I think Arteta is clueless and everything. Like, what are we doing here? It's obvious that he's a striker. Top notch. Better than Isak, than Haaland, than anyone else. He would slot into Real Madrid's number 9 spot over Mbappe, like, just perfect. He's less than Leon. Liverpool are so lucky Arsenal and others picked up major injuries. Nah, they're not lucky. Everyone's just shit. Ultimately, at the end of the day, everyone is just shit and Liverpool are just maintaining the level. Let's be real. Liverpool managed to maintain the level until this point, and everyone else has just been slacking and not being good enough. Injuries and everything, it's red cards, it's not an excuse. Last year we had nobody injured and we still couldn't have won it. We still didn't win it. Year before that, same thing. Merino has been a midfielder since when he was... He is the striker, you didn't know? He is Arsenal's number 9. He's the main guy up top. Haven't you watched Arsenal? He's better than Robin Van Persie up top. What? You sound surprised. Liverpool won the Premier League title because... Exactly, they won the Premier League title because of our incompetence, because we are shit, because the rest of the league is shit. Let's be real. I'd say Merino won us 7 points this season. He won against Leicester. He won against Chelsea. That is 6 alone. Let's be real. So he has won at least 6 points for us. Like, that's what strikers are meant to do. Score goals, win you games, get points. He's doing that. He's the best striker we know. Dude, if someone clips this and makes this out of context and everything, I will genuinely smack someone silly. Kid you not. Because if you cannot concept the grasp of sarcasm, I don't even. I'm not protecting Merino, but can't blame him for poor squad planning. True. That's the thing, but at the same time, people find excuses for Partey as a right back, Calafiori being a left back, playing Calafiori as a striker half the time and everything. Like, if we are holding one to a certain standard, we have to hold others to the certain standard, and it goes vice versa, and it's gonna be that type of situation where there won't be a winner in that regard. That is the case. Yeah, let's be real, Merino isn't the only guilty one. To be honest, Mikel Merino shouldn't even be a striker. At this stage, in phase 5, 800 million spent, we shouldn't be in a spot where we play number 6 as a striker, where we play number 8 and Kai Havertz technically as a striker. We shouldn't be in that spot. We should be in a spot where we have proper strikers, but one hasn't played what it feels like since, I don't know, the Stone Age in Jesus. Other one cannot hit the barn door. Third one is playing somewhere else in the completely tired part of the pitch. It's kind of nuts. Pretty much everything goes on Arteta and Kroenke's, let's be real. And to some extent, in this regard specifically, obviously it's Kroenke's fault for hiring this manager, right? But if we look past that, obviously, it's all on Arteta, because as much as we can blame Kroenke's for signing him, signing Arteta, for mismanaging lots of stuff, they have given Arteta the money. So it's on Kroenke's for even hiring Arteta in the first place. At the same time, it's much more, to some extent, on Mikel Arteta, just because he has wasted the money he has been given. Exactly. Kroenke and Arteta are responsible. Both of them have to hold the smoke, let's be real. But yeah, Trossard needs to go for me at least. Trossard is not it. He needs to go. Goodbye, see you later, alligator. Apparently, Barcelona want Juan Garcia. Arsenal in pole position ahead of Barcelona to sign Espanyol's goalkeeper Juan Garcia. We'll see whether that constitutes to something or not. The biggest question for me is what's gonna happen, how he's gonna rotate the goalkeepers. That for me is another big question, but obviously time only will tell. Time only will tell. What else do we have to talk about today? Wait, let me refresh the page. If anyone watched F1 today, by the way, did anyone watch F1 today? First race of the season. This was legendary talk on the radio between Charles Leclerc and his racing instructor. This was legendary. Is there a leakage? A leakage of what? I have full set of war, like full of war. Must be the war. That's the words of wisdom. That was insanely funny. Genuinely. Ferrari is a gift that keeps on giving. And as much as I am a Ferrari fan, and I've been for 20 plus years, this is painful to look at, I'm not gonna lie. We talked about that. This is a big one. Okay. This is a big one. Mikel Arteta on what phase Arsenal are in from his planned 5-phase plan. Phase 4 to 5. Establishing yourself at the highest level in the Champions League, consistently perform with a lot of unity and being very close to touching big trophies. This is what Mikel Arteta said in the interview 5 days ago. PSV game. This is what he said in the interview. Hermansen, yeah. I didn't talk about Saliba's statement yet. I will get to it in a second. 3 times in a row we are runners-up in Premier League. Exactly. And this is... So based on this, Mikel Arteta has been in phase 4 to 5 for the last 2-3 years. Being very close to touching the big trophies. Obviously, we cannot tell that by Carabao and FA Cups and Champions League. But we have highest level in Champions League, technically. But very close to big trophies, we have been that for 2-3 years now. So basically, this is now what Mikel Arteta is saying. We are phase 4 to 5 for 3 years straight, pretty much. Maybe not this year, for the last 2 years, definitely. So what phase we are really at? That is the big question. What phase we are really at? Because this gap and everything is a big, big waffle. This is a good one. The gap down to 4 points. The pressure is on Liverpool. We couldn't, could we? This is what got tweeted out by one of the top gooners on February 15th. Exactly 1 month ago. We fast forward 1 month, 4 games played. And Arsenal are 12 points behind Liverpool. 12. Enough said. Genuinely enough said. Pressure is a privilege. As Arsenal themselves tweeted that out. Pressure is a privilege. 1 month ago exactly, 4 games ago, 4 games ago, Arsenal were 4 points behind. Fast forward these 3-4 games, Arsenal are now 12 points behind. In those games, Arsenal have lost 8 points. How insane is that? Like, seriously. Bowen happened. If the so-called Arteta loyalists enjoy our club being runners-up in the Premier League, good for them, but for me... Exactly, that's not a progress. That's the biggest thing. I've seen these Arteta loyalists, Arteta sexuals, Arteta OnlyFans, top gooners, all of them say, success is not measured by trophies. Success is measured by progress. First of all, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, first of all, right? Second of all, finishing 3 years in a row second, if we finish this year as well. Where is the progress? Because this year we will lose to Liverpool by 15, 20 points, maybe even if we keep at it at this rate. At the end of the season, we're going to lose them by 15, 20 points. Where is the progress? Last year it was 2 points, this year it's 20 points. 10 times more. Make it make sense. Genuinely make it make sense. It's just actually insane. Anyways, whoa, no, not this one. Saliba statement. Nathan wanted to talk about this. Nathan wanted to talk about this quite desperately. Basically, I'm gonna move the screen so you can see, but I'm not gonna cut it so I don't have to do it afterwards. So there will be a bit of a cut on my face cam a bit. Basically, what Saliba said. I'm very happy here. I've been here for 2.5 years as well. There's nothing to worry about. I'm happy here and I want to continue here. I'm a huge Arsenal fan. Playing here and scoring goals there's like dream for me. I enjoy everything, every day, every game. That's all. The 32-year-old also admitted he hasn't been happy with his level of performances this season. I played 2 great seasons with Arsenal, but I have to demand more from myself because, as I said, I'm not happy with my level this season. But that is good because I know when I'm good and when I'm not good. Well, yeah. Saliba is already regarded as one of the best center backs in the world, so it's no surprise he demands more of himself and blah blah blah. The Arsenal center back will be looking to finish the campaign strongly to give the Gunners the best chance of still lifting silverware come May. And that's not happening. But for me, this is a big thing. Put everything on Mushroom Basically, that's what you have to do. Put everything in Champions League basket. I think we will sign Zumendi, Williams, and Isak. I think Arsenal will sign Isak next season. I can see us signing 2 of those 3. As much, this will sound very weird, but I don't want any of those. I'm not gonna lie. First of all, I want Isak, but I think we're gonna get someone else instead. I think so. As long as it's not Sesko, I will be fine. But if it's Sesko, it's gonna be a very insane stream. But overall, yeah, it's actually kind of insane. But yeah, kind of don't feel you. Isak is too risky. It is. Atletico Madrid scored. Ooh, Barca losing. Interesting. Anyways, one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about in regarding these comments from Saliba. I think it will take time. But I think also Saliba is saying this for PR. Because how long, if us, we all know Saliba is regarded as one of the best center backs in Europe, right? How long will he basically sit there at Arsenal winning nothing, let's be real, and go to international duty with Mbappe, with Camavinga, Tchouameni, Mendy, name every single French player who has won something, even Dembele to some extent, let's be real, Barcola and stuff like that. How long will we go with these players to national duty and listen to them talk about their trophies? Same goes for Gabriel. He goes to Brazil and that's pretty much like goldmine for trophies. With Vini, with pretty much every single player in Brazil national team has won something, let's be real. Like, that is the big question for me. Because this is all nice on paper for the ear and everything for the fans. But ultimately, we have good players in the team. Let's not kid ourselves. They're very, very good. But the biggest thing is, if you want to be considered one of the world's best, you have to win. You have to win trophies. You have to win big. And unfortunately, at Arsenal, it's not happening. And how long do you think they will stand for that? Because at some point, the penny has to drop. They will realize that this cannot continue like this. If I want to be regarded as one of the best, I want to leave my big legacy behind. I need trophies. And it's pretty much evident that Arsenal cannot provide with that. At least currently. Obviously, if we win something this season, it doesn't look that way, obviously, or next season, it will change, of course. But for now, with Real Madrid winning, Saliba, maybe even Gabriel being looked at by PSG and teams like that, it's just a matter of time until their heads start to spin properly, to the maximum extent, especially once the bids start coming in. Because so far it's just rumors that they're looking at, they're exploring options. Real Madrid are looking at Konate, they're looking at Saliba, even PSG are looking at Gabriel and Saliba. It's just a matter of time until actually a bid comes in. And once the bid comes in, the agents start to talk, the club starts to talk, for example, Real Madrid and Papa Perez starts to talk to Saliba. It's gonna be a completely different story. And that for me is a big thing. How long they will sit in their WhatsApp group chats, show off their own trophies, and Saliba will just show dust bunnies basically there. How long he will stand for that? That for me is a big worry, a very big worry, because ultimately at the end of the day, success is measured by trophies, and unfortunately, Saliba has none of those by his name. Saliba has none of those by his name, and this is a big thing, as Killswitch is saying. Give Saliba 300k wages, top 3 center back in the world. Yeah, but that's the only thing Arsenal can offer these days. It's money. We offer money. Zinchenko at Man City, right? When we signed him for, he was on 20,000 a week. 20,000 a week, right? When he was at City. We signed him to Arsenal, he's on 150. 7.5 time wage increase. For what? What has he done to deserve 7.5 time wage increase? Gabriel Jesus was on 90,000 a week at Man City. He comes to Arsenal 245, 260. Like, that's the only thing we can offer. I think Calafiori wasn't about 30,000. He's now on 150 or 120. Same goes for Merino. He was on about 30, 40. He's now on 120. That's the only thing we can offer to these players to come to Arsenal these days. It's money. Because we win nothing. We can sell a project, but at the end of the day, that's the only real thing we can offer them is money. Yes, London. Yes, good PR place. Good for commercials, brand, and everything. Because players also think about their name and their brand long term after their careers are over, right? It all makes sense. But ultimately, Arsenal can only offer money. That's all we have these days. And isn't that shambolic, isn't it? That's actually kind of painful to say the least. Big up Kwame, thanks for dropping by. Big up my guy. Exactly, Arsenal are just a cash cow for most of these players. And that's going to be a good payday. Same goes for Zubimendi as well to some extent. If I'm not mistaken, Zubimendi, right? He's also not the youngest. He's not the youngest chicken, as they say. Youngest chicken in the coop as well, isn't it? Zubimendi is what, 27? 26. He's gonna be 27 next year. So he's 26, right? Zubimendi is 26 at the moment. So if we sign him, he's gonna be 26, sign a 4-year deal. To some extent, it's his last chance of him getting a good payday. That is the biggest issue here as well. Exactly. That's one of the biggest things. We already have insanely inflated wage bill, as it is at this club, as it should not be. It should be on average, I'm not talking every single player, but on average, about 30, 40,000 less. Because Kai Havertz is the top earner, then comes Jesus, then there's Thomas Partey, Saka, and players like that. Saka should be the highest player who earns the most money. Period. Then there is Saliba, then there should be Gabriel and players like that. Why Jesus is on 245? 265 for Havertz. 200 for Partey. To some extent I can see that, but still injuries. Saliba now is on 180. If he gets a new contract, that's what, 280, 290? He's gonna get an increase. Let's not forget Gabriel Magalhaes, by the way. Best center back we have, at least this season, 100%. Is on 100 grand a week. 100 grand. So he's gonna need a salary increase. Looking at Saliba and everything, he's gonna go jump up from 100 to like 250 instantly, without any hesitation. Like, that is actually insane. But we should be thinking about this. Kivior is on what, 60? We have about 3 players below 100 grand. There's Trossard, there's Kivior, and then there's somebody else. Obviously, 2 kids from the academy are on 4 and 3 grand a week, 4 and 6 grand a week, right? That makes sense. They're gonna get increase as well. But Gabriel Magalhaes on 100 grand a week, that is disgraceful to say the least. But now, when we look at most of the players are in hundreds. Tierney, Zinchenko, all these players. 180 for Martinelli, 150 for Zinchenko, 120. 100 for Tomiyasu, 120 for Merino, 120 for Calafiori. Look at all these players that are mediocre, but they are on top wages. Like, hey. Rice, Zubimendi, and Bruno Guimaraes all decline at the same age. Exactly. They will have to rebuild the entire midfield. Exactly, and we will be stuck there again. This is something what Liverpool didn't do once they won Champions League under Jurgen Klopp. Fabinho got old, Henderson got old. They had to replace them and they didn't. And they struggle quite heavily in the midfield. Their midfield, obviously, at the moment is still not fixed. They need a bit of like three new players in the midfield. But they're making it work. Raya should be second top earner, but based on this season, he is in the running for player of the season at Arsenal. Let's be real. I can't handle another season of Martinelli. You will have to. Let's be real. You will have to handle. There's nothing you can do. You will have to handle Martinelli for at least a season, unless Saudis come in with like I don't know, 90 million offer or something like that, 70 million. That's the big question. What's gonna happen there? But yeah, I think on that note, I'm gonna end it today. It's nice to be back. It's genuinely nice to be back. My voice is going, by the way, if you couldn't tell. It's genuinely, it will be gone in about 10 minutes if I kept on talking. But yeah, I did my best not try to cough and not try to disrupt the stream. So thank you guys so much for being here. It's good to be back. Let's see what's gonna happen tomorrow, because based on my voice, I'm not sure how it's gonna take it, how I tomorrow gonna sound. But yeah, time only will tell. But yeah, for today, big up Nathan, big up Nally, big up Killswitch, big up Kwame, big up Coach, big up everyone who dropped by, TKA, Liam, big up everyone. Have a nice evening, have a great week tomorrow. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the stream, leave your thoughts down in comments below. Take care, and I see you all very, very soon.